Hey everybody, welcome back to my playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. We had just encountered Ramu, and we are now reporting back here to the lieutenant here in the Sylph Village, so let's see what they got to say. Private Saturn, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms. It is well, then, that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Leaven has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day. The elder seeds here must be informed of your deeds at once. Okay, pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Sands. The Conjurer will be expecting you. Fare you well. Okay. How y'all doing today? You feeling good? Feeling well, I guess, is the correct grammar. And if you're not feeling well, you know, cheer up. Things are gonna be okay. Alright, everybody. I did it.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you?
Mm-hmm.
I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one, yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done.
Welcome.
Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
And I will start by giving you 10 million gil. Or not. Maybe not.
Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Hey, Papa Limo, what's going on? Thus ends another daunting mission, eh? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that he was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Solitary? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Yes, pray, let us return to the Rising Stones. I kind of miss the Waking Sands, to be honest with y'all. Alright. Welcome back. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own. I need to really learn how to say this guy's name. Discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Leaven, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ossian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension.
Right.
The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Leaven's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
I know nothing of it. Oh?
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
Right.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
It's a pretty cool little scene, actually. One of the more like cinematic things they've shown, I feel like.
Path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
This place looks nice. Wow. The Lord of Leaven has returned to the Ether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramu's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Leaven all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man. Hydaelyn's? I don't actually know how you pronounce that. Servant grows mightier by the day. Yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls have grown weak. And yet even as it... I don't know what that word is. The ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted to forge the final key. And thus is the task to which we bend our every effort. Hello. Oh, La Habrea. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorze's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. You talking about Bahamut here? Or something else, I don't know. Anthelia, can you explain what I just saw? Anthelia has some correspondence she wishes to share with you. Now the matter of Ramu has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Solitary. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, and Eorzea is that much the safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know all too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people. to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has been ever long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solace, who wish not of conflict. Of the Alamegans and the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there is Sid in the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag. That we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ossians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino, I take it the troubles in Uldar no longer require your attention? There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message for you from L? Hem? You recall the refugee girl? The one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Oh, okay. Why, Alphino, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Hahaha. Solitary, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town. Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yosan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Quest accepted. Alright, Yosan, where are you at? Is this person? Wait, they're inside the Rising Stones? I just ran right by them. Oops. Somebody's happy. Look, it's Mr. Solitary. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. I'll just go back on my YouTube channel and watch, check out the whole playlist. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Solitary? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Boulder and Coltony. Did you know that Mr. Solitary is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Solitary. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltony. Coltony? Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Solitary if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Solitary? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. If I didn't know you better, I do. If I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, mayhaps I am, but what matters the motivation when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you? Would you consent to spar with me? I need to change my hair back. Okay. What this Bob Ross hair is. I have a hard time taking myself serious with it. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them, Have faith. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I much look forward to our bout. Alright. Okay. East of town. Here they are. Well, it's good of you to agree to this, Solitary. I trust you're ready to begin. Oh? Yes. Let's do this thing. Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Solitary you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Solitary to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Oh, everybody's come to watch? Ida, what? Who are all these people? When I heard you were heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Solitary's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. While my own popularity seems to be a sickly shade in comparison, you'd best claim victory. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win. We shall soon see. On your guard. Let's do this thing. It's not over yet. It can't be. Had the children have the right of it. This time I joined the fray. Oh no, he looks hurt. But you can't give up. Can't disappoint. Must fight. Full power! Anybody else want a piece of me? You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible. He beat them both at the same time. Yeah, thank you, everybody. We knew you couldn't lose, Solitary. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Impressive as always, Solitary. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? Yeah, your sister was there, and we haven't seen her like since. 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Thanks a lot. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus's single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, and the nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take upon the mantle of a guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who will toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. Know what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us return. I just naturally want to say pray let us return. Pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Okay. Pray, let us return to the Rising Stones. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Tataru. No, this won't do at all. If you don't mind, I'm terribly busy at the moment. Fine, be that way. Okay. Thank you for coming, Solitary. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. I don't know. Tell me more. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. Oh, I can retire? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true, border-spanning grand company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Laminsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Cool. And I think that is where we will start up on the next episode. So hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. Quite a bit of story and background today. Interesting to kind of start to learn more about our ultimate plan here. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll talk to y'all in the next one. Take care of yourself. Talk to you then.